Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Partners in Health and Biz with your host, Gail Dixon. Tune in every Saturday, 9 a.m. for great shows about obtaining and maintaining health, business, and finance. Learn from the experts here at pihradio.net. And now, broadcasting from the Partners in Health and Biz studio, here's Gail.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Partners in Health and Biz. Thank you so much for being my special guest. Thank you so much for tuning in today. This is a wonderful, beautiful day. Fantastic. We are broadcasting live from our Columbia, Maryland studio. It is Saturday, June the 8th, 2019. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. So if you have been to the website, then you know today's show is Burnout is now an official medical condition. Do you have burnout syndrome? Well, today that's what we're going to discuss. We're going to discuss what burnout is, and let me just start by telling you right from the top of the show that the burnout that is now officially a medical condition is work-related stress. Work-related. So I'd like to give out the call-in number, which is 347-945-7433, 347-945-7433. I'd like to hear from you. Are you or do you feel that you're suffering from burnout? What's going on with your job? And what can you do about it? We are going to answer some of those questions, and I'd like to hear from you. So we are going to jump right into the show. And I want to start out first by letting you know also that I'll be sharing from three famous authors, book authors. And if you tuned in last Saturday, Saturday before last, I would say, Saturday before last, you heard my special guest, and that was none other than Sunny Connor. Sunny Connor, the author of Damaged Little Girl. And she came on and shared about her burnout that she was going through. She just shared a little bit about that and about what her book is about. But, yeah, she came on, and we had a fantastic show. So I encourage you, if you haven't already purchased the book, then go to your local bookstore, go online, go to Sunny's website, and you can see and order her book, Damaged Little Girl. And that's Sunny, and she spells it Sunni, middle initial T, last name Connor, Connor. So you can Google her and find out all about her and how to order her book. So let's first, the three authors I'm going to share, aside from Sunny T. Connor this morning, is from a book called You Can't Afford the Luxury of a Negative Thought. John Roger, author of The Power Within You, and Peter McWilliams, co-author of How to Survive the Loss of a Love. The other book is Learn to Relax. Learn to Relax, a practical guide to easing tension and conquering stress by Mike George. Mike George, just like it sounds. And A Path to Healing, a guide to wellness for body, mind, and soul by my naturopath, Dr. Andrea D. Sullivan, one of the nation's leading naturopaths. Okay, so first, let's just share what this burnout syndrome is all about. So most of you go to work, come home from your job, you're feeling tired, sick, depressed, even hopeless. So you may have burnout, which is now deemed an official medical diagnosis by the World Health Organization. And so it's nothing to play with. This is serious. It's not in your head, and although most days you probably will finish your day with a moderate headache or a migraine, but work-related stress is the scientific researched cause of burnout. Now, we're going to share in the show how you would know if you have burnout or if you just hate your job. So there is a difference. Some people come home, they say, I just hate my job. I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like my supervisor. I don't like my coworkers. On and on and on, they're complaining. But that's not what burnout is. And according to the World Health Organization, there are three signs that indicate that you have burnout. So once your doctor has ruled out other similar signs of a medical condition, because there could be other medical conditions that actually mimic burnout. But before I share all of that, I want to first share out of the book You Can't Afford the Luxury of a Negative Thought, that every good thought you think is contributing its share to the ultimate result of your life. So think about that. Every good thought you think is contributing its share to the ultimate result of your life. So what does that mean? Well, to me, that means we should be thinking more positive good thoughts, because most people who take the time uh, to actually sit down and think about what's positive in their life and what's good will feel better. Those who thought so that's the one thought I want to say. Also, positive thoughts. What are the positive thoughts? Well, you should be thinking joy, happiness, fulfillment, achievement, worthiness. Have positive results. Enthusiasm, be calm, your well-being, ease, energy, love. The negative thoughts, which you should not be thinking, which will add to burnout, are judgment, unworthiness, mistrust, resentment, fear. These produce negative results. They produce tension, anxiety, alienation, anger, and fatigue. So you don't want to do that. So, but to understand why something as minuscule as a thought can have such a dramatic effect on our mind, body, and emotions, it helps to understand the automatic reaction human beings have whenever they perceive danger. And what is that? That's the fight or flight response. Again, the fight or flight response. And so, next, I want to explain what stress is. It is a component of burnout, but it is not the complete diagnosis of burnout. So, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on. And now I'm going to be sharing from Dr. Andrea Sullivan's book a little bit. And we're going to start with page 116. So, some of the things that can be very detrimental to your health is judgment. If you have not already done so, you must forgive yourself for judging yourself and comparing yourself to others. That's one of the things that happens when you begin to get work related burnout or burnout, which is work related. You must never accept the belief that you are not as good as other people. One way to change these negative judgments is to practice prayer, affirmations, and forgiveness. We affirm our prayers. Forgiveness is a major step towards stress reduction and wellness. It must come from the heart and not be only an intellectual exercise. Forgiveness allows us to have freedom from anger, sadness, and guilt. When we have freedom from negative emotions, we are able to love and be joyful. So we need to spend time every day creating affirmations. They should indicate action and be written in the first person, such as, I am forgiving myself for judging myself as wrong, or I am forgiving myself for judging myself as inadequate. You must create meaningful affirmations and speak to your issues. Then practice saying them every day. Begin by taking slow, deep breaths for 2 minutes in order to relax. And if you need to, put 50 toothpicks on the floor as you say each affirmation. Move a toothpick to the side until you've created another pile with all 50 toothpicks. Also, you might carry a card with several affirmations to read during the day. So each of us has roles to play in God's plan. The Spirit's job is to assist us in discovering and performing them. Through discipline and repeated contact with Spirit, we find our roles. And in order to achieve this discipline and contact, we should sit down every day to reflect on our breathing and communicate with the God within us. So that's from Dr. Andrea Sullivan's book, A Path to Healing, pages 116 and 117, an excerpt from her book. And so we're going to come back to Dr. Sullivan's book a little later in the show. But right now, I want to continue with some of the information that we have about burnout specifically. And so here we go. How will you know if you have burnout? It's not just if you hate your job. The first thing that will indicate that you will possibly have burnout is that you have feelings of energy depletion or exhaustion. In other words, you're exhausted, even after you've had a good night's sleep. Increased mental distance from one's job, or you have feelings of negativism or cynicism. You just kind of, it's like not just the job, you hate everybody. It's like despise, and you have feelings of what are you going to do to get back at such and such who did something to you on your job. Very cynical thoughts. And number 3, reduce professional efficacy, or you're just incompetent. You don't care. You don't even do well. You don't even try to perform your job. So burnout should only, once again, be diagnosed with work related symptoms, not family or relationship stress. Some medical conditions that mimic burnout include adjustment disorder. These are disorders that could cause you to seem like you have burnout. Disorders specifically associated with stress, anxiety or fear related disorders, and mood disorders. So, your doctor will have to diagnose you, your doctor, a psychologist, a psychiatrist. And yes, this is the 21st century. There's nothing wrong with uh, if you feel that you can't handle, you're at the point where you can't handle life stresses on your job, then you should seek help. So, again, number 1, I'm going to break it down a little bit. You're tired all the time, even after a good night's sleep, taking vitamins, eating healthy, and exercising. And even despite a clean bill of physical health from your doctor, you're still tired all the time. Second, you're no longer motivated to achieve. So, when you were first hired, think back, you were hopeful and enthusiastic about your career, but no more. You could care less if you're successful. You go to work, but you don't do your best, and you have a very negative attitude throughout the day. That's the second sign. And once again, to break down the 3, the third, your performance has drastically dropped. Well, you're being called into your supervisor's office on a regular basis because of neglect or major mistakes. You are on the verge of getting fired, and you don't really care. In fact, you really want it to happen. Okay, so those are some of the signs of the 3. Those are the 3 major signs indicated by the World Health Organization. And we're going to share how you can recover or prevent burnout a little later in the show. So hopefully you have pen and paper and you're taking notes. So some other information that I would like to share is breaking this down. While the World Health Organization highlights that burnout syndrome is more than stress, that stress is the core of the concern. Yes, stress is the core. Coping encompasses the methods utilized to moderate stress. A key difference between stress and burnout is that stress may be moderated by coping, whereas Burnout develops out of the unsuccessful attempts to cope with workplace stress over time. So you're constantly trying to do your best, you're constantly dealing with various people on your job, and you're unsuccessful. So that's